Hello. So good to have you all here. So good to see you today. Thank you for coming today. Thank you for showing up for yourself today. So we're going to start out by doing our meditation. If you're new to our group, welcome. So usually how it goes is we sit together for a few minutes, for about 25 minutes. Then I offer a little bit of a teaching, and then we go into breakout rooms. And on the way back, if you like to stay or have any questions, I usually stick around just for a little bit. But class really ends at 12. So if you have to go at 12, then that's fine. So good to see you all. So let's start out by just finding a comfortable position to sit, or if you like to lie down, you can do that too. Noticing your feet in the ground, if they are touching the ground. This is a good time to make any adjustments if you need to. And you may close your eyes or keep them open. And really just tuning into this body that's here, sitting here, lying down here. Noticing those points of contact that the body makes with the chair or the cushion. Noticing the sensations that might be present here, maybe warmth as the body is in contact with the body itself, maybe as the arms are folded on your lap, or maybe they're touching the rest of the body. Just noticing those sensations of warmth or coolness in the body. Noticing the back of the body and the front. And if you notice any tension anywhere, seeing if you can soften up any tension that might be still here from the moment before, and noticing what you're most present with right now. Noticing if there are any thoughts, emotions, maybe the anticipation of this moment. Maybe the comparing mind. How is this moment different than the moment before? Or the to-do list. Whatever it is, just allowing it all to kind of check out. Allowing it all to fade from your attention. And seeing if you can just focus your attention in the body sitting or lying down here. Bringing up the realization that this is a true act of love and kindness towards yourself and others. For it is one of the hardest things to do, sit with yourself. So doing a quick scan in the body and noticing if there's any tension. tightness. And if there's any tightness and perhaps you can't let go right now, then that's okay, allowing it to stay, but really noticing it and seeing it for what it is. It's just tightness, tension. Noticing the body breathing right now. Maybe taking in a deep breath just to find your breath. Taking in a deep breath through the nose, holding it on top. And then on the long exhale, just releasing all the air in the body, allowing the body to just let go. Let's do that one more time. Taking in a deep breath, holding it on top. And on a long exhale, letting go. And coming back to this moment right now, breathing normally, allowing the breath to flow. And tuning into your attention on the sensations of the breath. It could be the breath, the air coming in through the nostrils. Perhaps you notice the coolness of the air, the air as it comes in, and the warmth as it leaves the body and goes into the world. So just noticing the sensations. Maybe the upper lip. And seeing if you can follow the breath, the in-breath from beginning to end. Noticing that the breath has also a beginning, a middle, and an end. Same for the out-breath, beginning, middle, and end. Seeing if you can just follow the cycle of the breath. Getting in touch with this nourishing breath. Taking in the world through the breath and giving in to the world, to the breath, through the breath. Perhaps you can notice the rising of the body on the in-breath and the falling on the out-breath. I'm seeing if you can follow that wave of the rising on the in-breath and the falling on the out-breath, rising and falling. And now continuing on the theme of beginner's mind, and bringing your attention to the thinking process, to all the thoughts that might be present right now. And instead of getting distracted or carried away by the thoughts, just seeing if you can follow the thoughts, noticing how they rise, they come to life, they come to be, and then they disappear. And so allowing them to just pass like the clouds in the sky, one by one. Noticing when a thought ends and a new one begins. And as you notice the stream of thoughts coming your way, welcoming them all and just allowing them to pass without entertaining them, without getting carried away by the thinking process. They're just thoughts. They're not real. The mind makes thoughts just like the tongue secretes saliva. It's just its role. So we're just watching them, allowing them to pass. Also, you might notice that the moment you actually notice a thought, it kind of fades away. It kind of loses its life in a way. It just kind of fades away, dissipates, but a new thought starts. And so just watching that, and you might even notice a pause in between the thoughts sometimes. Maybe, maybe not. There's nothing to accomplish here. There's nothing to do, nowhere to go. We're just really noticing experience the way it rises for us at this moment. So whatever your experience is right now is valid and is right. And if at any moment you find the thinking process, the thoughts overwhelming, you can always come back to the breath. You can always come back to paying attention to your feet or your hands. And then join us back whenever you're ready. There's no right or wrong way of doing this. You're doing it perfectly. You are here. That's all that matters. Approaching the thinking process with beginner's mind, noticing what's here and accepting it the way it is. Whatever is here is already here. So just noticing it, bringing kind curiosity. In the words of Suzuki Roshi, he says, in the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities. but in the expert's mind, there are only a few. And he goes on to saying, the mind of the beginner is empty. It's free of habits of the expert, ready to accept, to doubt, and open to all the possibilities. It is the kind of mind which we can see things as they are, which step by step and in a flash can realize the original nature of everything. And so as we navigate beginner's mind, we're also going to now really just explore a little bit acceptance, another foundation of mindfulness. And so Steve Maraboli, an American writer and radio host, says, acceptance makes a great soil for the seeds of change. And so the idea with acceptance is not that we are taking things the way they are with a martyr attitude. It's not that at all. It is not resignation either. It is not taking things as, well, this is what it is, and there's nothing I can do about it, and I'll accept it. It's not that at all. It is just seeing things exactly as they are and working with them and not against them. So most often we're working against things, even our thinking process. We're working against whatever it is that's happening. And some things are really hard. We are living through some very difficult times right now. And they're hitting us so different, depending on where we are in the world, depending on our situation at the moment. And so with acceptance is an invitation to just see things exactly as they are. Because chances are that if we work against them, we're going to suffer more. We're going to make things even worse for ourselves. Also, we're not able to see things clearly when we're working against them. It's almost like trying to swim on shore and really going against the waves instead of diving in, right? Acceptance means that we know the waves are there, but we're able to dive in and accept them. And that's where clarity really comes. And so some ways to work with acceptance will be to notice when there is rejection, to notice when you're suppressing, when you're refusing to see things as they are, or refusing the moment the way it is. So this practice really is the foundation for everything else that we do in life. But what's the point of sitting here if we can't apply this at home and in our regular lives? And so a way to really learn about acceptance and to learn to be accepting of things is to really notice when we're rejecting things. What's the opposite? When am I caught in this turmoil of pulling away from what's happening? And noticing that. And once you notice that, already there's clarity. Ah, there it is. I'm pushing away. I'm resisting. And how about accepting the good things as well and noticing those, right? Because even in the midst of very difficult situations, there's still something to hold on to sometimes, something good. And I won't even say hold on, but to notice and really accepting that too. Sometimes that can be challenging as well. And so just bringing that awareness to the moment and noticing. And so we're still keeping an alert mind with beginner's mind, noticing the moment, noticing things the way they are, coming at it as a novice and not an expert, so we can find a world of possibilities. And then accepting things as they are, whether they're very difficult or joyful. And I know this could be challenging if we're going through difficult times right now. But remember that if you're swimming against the current and the waves, you're going to make things a lot harder for yourself than if you just dive in and notice the waves. Because there is stillness beneath it. So keeping that in mind as we transition to our next moment together, as we break into breakout rooms, but coming back at your own pace. Noticing the body now if your eyes are closed, as you open your eyes, noticing if it needs to be stretched or moved in any way, tuning in. And you know that on Fridays, I always like to tune into the body a bit more than on Mondays. So Mondays, there's always a teaching that carries us over. But on Fridays, we actually dive into the body because the body is our first indicator for not accepting the moment, for going against the current. You will notice that when you're in a situation, the body will tense up. It will contract, it will close up. It's protection. It does that. But that's a good way to really tune in also and notice if we're going against things, if we're fighting things. And so right now, just check in, seeing what's in the body right now. Noticing if it needs to move in any way, if it needs to stretch in any way. And if it does, then going ahead and doing that. And this is part of acceptance, isn't it? To just notice when the body is actually tense and seeing how we can perceive, because that's a clarity. If we don't notice this, then how can we help ourselves? How can we really go through things and learn and do what's best for us ultimately? So we're going to transition now